Take a look at this. I have never seen a young man this determined. After a heated argument with his wife, he grabbed a few belongings, left his home, and disappeared deep into the mountains. But instead of returning after a few days, he made a decision that nobody expected. He was going to build a new home for himself in the middle of the wilderness, and this was not going to be a simple tent or a temporary wooden hut. He chose a quiet location beside a narrow river and began carving a shelter directly into the hillside. Using little more than basic hand tools, he removed the soil piece by piece. He shaped the walls, strengthened the entrance, created a drainage system, and slowly transformed an empty patch of land into a surprisingly comfortable underground home. You have to admit, his patience and building skills are incredible, but the reason he came here was more complicated than it first appeared. For years, he had worked long hours at a job that barely paid enough to support his family. Every month felt the same. He worked, paid the bills, and had almost nothing left. Eventually, he saved a small amount of money and decided that he wanted to open his own workshop. He believed it was his only chance to escape the life he had been living. His wife, however, thought the idea was far too dangerous. She worried that if the business failed, they would lose everything they had worked so hard to save. Neither of them wanted to back down, and the disagreement quickly turned into a serious argument. Still angry and frustrated, the young man packed his bag and walked away from the house. Without telling anyone where he was going, he headed straight toward the mountains. At first, his wife believed he only needed some time alone. She expected him to calm down and return before the end of the week, but 1 week became 2. Then 2 weeks became an entire month. His family began searching for him, but nobody knew exactly where he had gone. When they finally discovered his location, they could hardly believe what they were looking at. Hidden between the trees beside the river was a complete underground shelter. He had built a raised sleeping platform, a stone fireplace, shelves for storing food, and a small outdoor cooking area. He even redirected rainwater away from the entrance to stop the shelter from flooding during storms. He was not cold, hungry, or struggling to survive. In fact, he appeared completely peaceful. When his wife saw him sitting beside the fire and preparing his dinner, she did not know whether she should be angry, impressed, or relieved. What began as an empty hillside slowly became a hidden home that was warm, strong, and practical. The finished video may only last a few minutes, but the real construction took hundreds of days. Every wall he reinforced, every log he carried, and every basket of soil he removed showed just how determined he was to finish what he had started. So here is the question. If the highest possible score is 100, how many points would you give this underground mountain shelter? Share your rating in the comments. And if you found his story impressive, leave a like. Your support helps us continue bringing you incredible stories like this one. See you in the next episode.